Welcome back to the Be Ruthless Show. I'm your host, Sam Ruth, and joining me today is Paul Moore from Leafbloom Organics. I am pretty challenged with technology, and I know I have some people in this world that are even more challenged than me. So I didn't know if you were having a little bit of difficulty, but I thought I would get started in case people were waiting. So welcome and thank you so much for joining me and making time today. This is a super important topic, and I love what you do and everything you guys stand for. Leafbloom Organics is in Washington, and there are many CBD companies here in Colorado. You guys stand for a lot of wonderful things supporting veterans and mental health. So why don't you tell everyone a little bit about how that came to be and why that's so important to you before we get into all of the things that CBD does. I've been going through some health stuff, so we will talk real life, real time, how it can help me and everyone with so many things that they don't know. Are you here? Can anyone hear us? I can't hear you. Let's see if any of these.
Do you have me now?
Yes, I can. Now I can. Perfect.
Yeah. Plenty of technical difficulties.
Yes.
I think I'm good. All right. I'm a retired veteran, 24 years. And so in the process of surviving those 24 years, many exposures to grief. So it does bring some relevant experience, at least, into what we're talking about today. My company, I co-founded this Mars Laboratories about 3 years ago with a partner, and we purchased the Leafbloom Organics name. It was already 3 years into development, still needed quite a bit of work, but yeah, we've got it there now, and that's it. We're finding all kinds of ways for our products to help people out with lots of different things. It's a lot of various results that you can get from using CBD.
So thank you for your service. I had back surgery at the end of 2017, a month before I lost my husband. And so I was looking for any and all natural pain relief. I don't like medication. It doesn't agree with me. And so unknowingly, it helped me with my anxiety.
Yeah, it's in the process of grief, you get it manifests in many different ways throughout the body, some psychological, and that's not so much where CBD comes in, but in the physiological problems where the stress usually, where it causes hormone changes, causes all kinds of wreaks havoc on different systems of the body, and CBD is one way of helping out with that.
There are now, I call it like bulk foods. There are now, you can go into 7-Eleven, you can go anywhere, and there's so many CBD companies. And so what I want to talk about today is, I will talk to my clients about not taking Tylenol PM because it has so many things in it that you don't need, when we're looking for healthy ingredients. So your products do not have the things that we don't need, and absolutely have the things that we are looking for. And so just like if we're trying to eat healthy, there are ingredients that we can't pronounce on a Fruit Loops box.
Right.
There are things that we need to know and look for in certain products. And so CBD now, it's everywhere. What makes a good product? What makes a pure organic product?
You really want to look for, because there are so many out there. There's a lot of people, that, unfortunately, that will skirt certain quality measures, and that's where you get a lot of warnings from medical professionals and from the FDA about using products that contain cannabinoids. Uh, and that's you want to be looking for quality in the manufacturer rather than somebody that just, could be cooking something up in their kitchen. And not really knowing what they're doing in the process. A good quality manufacturer is going to be looking for not just the best quality cannabinoids, but all ingredients, not using artificial colors that could have adverse effects. You want to look for third-party lab testing is really one of the big things that makes hemp manufacturing different from other forms of manufacturing. It's really pushed a lot because it is risky to take products that somebody else made, and you may not know that those people. So having that third-party lab testing is really important.
Some places will try to get you to have any and everything. You need this, and you need this, and you need this for your back, Sam, and you need this for your anxiety. And you guys don't do that. I've been on the phone when somebody's walked in and you've had to ask me to hold on, and you are not trying to oversell and have people take more than they need. You will say, start with this, try this, see how it works. That's another thing that's important to me. I do not ask anyone or send anyone or promote anything that I don't use or trust myself, or that I wouldn't have my dogs or my nieces use. That's what I always say. So that's important to me, that you're not shoving things down people's throats and you're listening. People are coming to you in crisis. People are coming to you when nothing else has worked.
Right. There's and that's part of our sales strategy is always to ensure that there is no buyer's remorse later. Because a lot of people that come to us, they have already tried so many things. They've multiple medical professionals tell them try this, try that, and stuff doesn't work. And a lot of people are desperate by the time they hear from their second cousin, oh, you should try CBD. And they actually get around to going in. And, I've tried, because I have many injuries over the years, I have a lot of pain to manage. I've tried a lot of natural remedies, and to be honest, none of them ever worked for me. But CBD does work for me for that, and it's well, in working with the customer, though, I kind of can understand where they're coming from, the desperation, the doctors that don't want to listen to me and not wanting to be on narcotic pain relievers. So I can really identify with a lot of what their problems are, and we want to help them out without having them thrown around the system any more than what they already have. And also, CBD products are not cheap. So we have to respect that too, because their health insurance is not going to pay for their CBD products. So we're very forthright with our customers.
You'll ship anywhere. We've already had people reaching out to you, and that's another reason that I think it's important to have you here. I could go down the street but I'm going to come to you because you're listening to me. I'm dealing with something that's been medically going on since April. And today I was one of those people, crying to doctors and saying, I'm not feeling heard, going to someone who will hear me. And I don't want narcotics. I don't want something that makes me feel worse and alters me. But we can't get to the bottom of it. CBD is an option. It's not a replacement for medication for anyone dealing with depression or anxiety or something. It's not a stop one thing and replace it with something else. I said it helped with my anxiety. That was a bonus. And I have been able to go off of my medication with talking to doctors. That's not something anyone should do without talking to doctors. But going into 7-Eleven, I don't believe that their staff is as trained as you are or people at certain stores. So if people want to work with you, can they just go to the website, pick up the phone?
Yes, we have, during business hours, there is a phone number on the website. They can call that and talk to a live person. Talk to them about recommended doses, recommended products for various things. And also, we do have a lot of blog posts on our website, so it's a good source of information. Um,
I know that it's very different than essential oils, and that is too confusing and hasn't worked for me. CBD does, but it still can be. Should I use a gummy or should I use a liquid? Like it can be something that, even though there are fewer options, what works best and how do I know? For me, with my back, it's pretty easy. I want something that I can rub into my back and get pain relief.
right.
That's easy. But when you are dealing with people come in, like you said, for all different reasons that the world doesn't know, we can get relief with, like I said, anxiety was a bonus at that point. I believe there are even pills. Maybe I would have tried a pain type of pill relief. So there was a benefit for anxiety, but we are not letting the world know that you can use this for talk about all of the things that people struggling through, more than the obvious. We talk about this for appetite. I think the world knows that exists.
Yeah, it lots, so many different things it can do. And a lot of it depends on how you're using it. Uh, with these topicals, topicals there's generally four different ways of using CBD. The high concentration topicals are what you're going to use for pain relief. You'll get enough CBD to absorb through the skin, penetrate in there, and it reduces inflammation. It's a great anti-inflammatory and also a pain blocker. But then you have your low concentration topicals. Those are great for removing freckling and aging, wrinkles, just generally healthy skin, even hair regrowth. Shampoo, conditioner, those types of things. Lip balms, great for dry, cracked lips. So you got a lot of, you got your high concentration for pain. You got your low concentration for a whole slew of different things. But it's the same with ingestible products. There's so many kinds. First of all, you've got gel caps, you've got gummies, you've got oil and water-based tincture that you can take. And even in that category, you have some more less common ones. There's smokables and vapes, but you also have, even suppositories, nasal inhalants. They make just so many different ways, but altogether, it's ingestible. It gets inside of the body. Now, those products in high or in higher doses are going to be great for pain relief as an anti-inflammatory, distributes throughout the whole body. Great for chronic pain in particular, not some kind of, I've got a headache and you're going to take it and think that the headache's going to be gone in 10 minutes. It doesn't quite work that way. Now, in lower doses, now you're talking more like a daily supplement. That is more relevant to grief and that gets into, you hear people talk about this endocannabinoid system. We know, like we talked about, grief kind of runs its course through the body and through the mind, and where CBD isn't really going to do anything for the psychological aspect of it. It's not going to replace the therapy that you're going to go to. It's not going to replace talking to your friends and family. It's more on the physiological side of it, as the body experiencing more stress, and it throws off hormones and all kinds of things. You're going to have so in this endocannabinoid system, basically what CBD is doing is it's supplementing in this lower dose. It supplements a cannabinoid that your body manufactures on its own, and that is used in this endocannabinoid system, which is basically a communication system within your nervous system. But it bonds to these receptors, and it helps with regulating many processes and facilitating that communication throughout your body, so that you're producing the right hormones, you're processing vitamins the right way. And it impacts a lot of things. And so that's where, stress can cause those changes in your body physiologically, and that's where CBD can help out. It's very similar to vitamin D. Your body produces it. We never produce enough. Some people come up a little bit short, and a glass of milk a day is good. Some people come up very short. Even up here in the Pacific Northwest seems to be a problem for more people because with the lack of sunshine. So in that way, it's just supplementing your body's own production of this endocannabinoid.
And people, I always say, if somebody heard me talking to somebody that is newly grieving, they might think I'm a little crazy because I'm talking about drinking water and staying hydrated and taking care of our basic physical needs, which is not at all addressing the emotions. We'll talk about that too, of course. But if we are taking care of our physical needs, we're better equipped to handle our emotions. So this is another way of regulating those inner things, to be better prepared. Talk about, because my dog Sassy here again is healthier and happier because of pet CBD. I know many parents who have children taking CBD instead of medication for ADD or ADHD. There are many people in this world that need to understand the difference between CBD and medical marijuana or marijuana. Are people walking around sober? How does this impact the body? And yes, you said cannabinoids, but what are people ingesting?
So with a hemp product, now these are products you can buy online. You can go into a store. In Washington State, at least, there actually isn't a minimum age, although most distributors will require you to be 18 to purchase. But these hemp-based products are always below 0.3% THC. So we're not looking for that psychoactive effect. And that's not to say that there's something wrong with THC. It's just, it gets you high. So you're certainly not going to be able to operate a vehicle. It can help with pain relief and inflammation, but I don't think any responsible medical or psychology professional is going to recommend someone experiencing grief to just get high. So big difference between what you're going to get with medical cannabis, which is very different, honestly, from like when I was a kid. The medical cannabis, any cannabis that was grown, it was actually very rich in CBD. Now it's not, because we've cultivated the plant to produce tremendous amounts of THC. So where it had a lot more medical value in the old days, just doesn't these days, unless no, not even going to go there. It just doesn't these days. Certainly not for grief. And that's, I would say, more in your realm, the psychological side of that. You're not really dealing with your problems if you are high.
So can parents safely administer in a way? Do they need to talk to doctors? Again, there are patches, there are lotions, there are, it's a personal choice. And that's for every family to address individually. But what happened, if you are not doing an oral form, what are the risks with like a patch or a lotion for someone who could have some serious benefits?
Well, now there's patches out there on the market, but the skin does block a lot of absorption. So if you're trying to, if you're taking it for a symptom that is better treated with with an ingestible product, then you're well off to use an ingestible product, rather than trying to use a patch where, some CBD products you're only absorbing about 5% of the CBD past the skin layer. So
you would think this is stuff I'm learning right now. I'm fascinated and I always want to learn more. This is what I love about how you explain that's not I feel like many of the companies are from Colorado. I've never heard that. So I think that's important to know. And for me, a patch on my back feels good. If there is a better way to get relief, that's silly, right? Like, I need to know that this is why we're going to people for help. So again, I'm not going to 7-Eleven. There's a place here that I think is highly reputable for how they make things as well, but it's never been taught to me in that manner. So you guys also, it's not just that you are a veteran. Don't some of your sales go directly back to veterans?
We are working on that. Yes. Yeah.
So what else should people know? Because I will send everyone here, whether it's with a question for a product. I'm not thinking of all the questions. Do we have them here? I want skincare. Again, people don't think that makes a difference. I'm extremely careful about what I want to put into my body now, having gone through getting rid of and eliminating things. We think about that in some ways, but I think when you're thinking CBD is healthy, why would I need to pay attention? This does matter. What third company are they having it tested with? What else am I not asking that people should think about?
Yeah. And it can be hard, especially like you were saying, if you go into the 7-Eleven and buy a product in there, they probably know a lot more about the bag of Doritos than they do about the CBD product on the counter. So, and to be fair though, you can walk into a cannabis dispensary and also get horrible information about the products. And we do now have cannabis processors who are trying to manufacture CBD products, and those, you want to watch the difference, because those products may have elevated levels of CBD in it, but they also may have a lot of THC in it. because they're not regulated the way that we are. We're in the industrial hemp realm. You are restricted to that below 0.3% THC, but you can go in and get a CBD product, CBD gummies, and that's what they're marketed as, and they're in a medical dispensary, probably for a reason, because you can't buy them anywhere else. And when you look on the label, maybe it has 10 milligrams of CBD, which really isn't going to help an adult with anything. 10 milligrams of CBD, but it may have 4 milligrams of THC, so which is too much. It's not the same product.
Right. Taking pure CBD is completely different. That's what we are discussing here. That's what my dogs take. There's an entirely different outcome, and I wouldn't know in a liquid form. Do you do it by weight? I know for my dogs, that's how it says, but I would feel comfortable coming to you, asking questions, even though I can't walk in your door. You've made time for me. So Leafbloom Organics, we have made a Grief and Leaf coupon for anyone, anywhere, to order through your website. You're going to have Faces of Grief at your store once it's out. The mental health veteran, supporting people going through a struggle. Are there people who just are curious about CBD? Sure. But most people are coming looking for relief because they haven't found it somewhere else. Right. Or like I always have struggled with medication and looked for natural remedies. So there's a reason people are coming and getting what you're looking for, and not having other ingredients and other things in there. That matters. So I want to let everyone know this is the real deal, and you do not visit when you're in Washington, absolutely, but you don't have to be there to get the benefits.
Right.
What else? I can't wait until I get to be there. Where exactly in Washington are you guys? And
we're based out of Olympia, so we're about maybe less than an hour south of Seattle, and we have a store in Bonnie Lake, a physical store for anybody that might be tuned in right now that wants to stop by the store up there. That's our only brick and mortar store that we have. But we run everything out of Olympia.
Beautiful area.
Yeah, it is.
Jim and I had a trip, we like, doing things, road trips, exploring beautiful areas, and then finding a way to tie it into a Lions Seattle football game, of course. So those types of things, finding music or football in some way. This to me is a big part of my life, because medicine matters, but doesn't always find the answers, or takes too long, or I want to combine things that can do wonders together. So I just know that I have found relief even beyond what I was looking for. Sassy, honest to God, is like a different dog. She looks younger than she did years ago. So I wish, that animals could explain the benefits that they have. What type of, is it dogs, cats, horses only? Those are the only pets I know.
No, well, I can't really speak for how effective it is, but we've actually had people administering CBD to with chickens. We had one that was had a pet parakeet, little ferrets. People get into ferrets. It does all the same thing for animals that it does for people, and dogs in particular, and I would say horses. They suffer a lot of anxiety. They're so, what is it? All right, the term escapes me, but due to them being domesticated for so long and identifying with humans so much, dogs in particular, acquiescent or whatever the term is. Anyway, they're just like us. They do experience stress. They experience grief and depression. Um, they're hyperactive like us, and that can lead to behavioral problems. But also, uh, the advances in veterinary medicine, they live ways past their natural lifespan, just like we do. And so they suffer a lot of the same problems that we do with arthritis and, hip dysplasia and lots of old age type problems. And so they benefit from CBD the same way we do. And we do actually have a way of calculating doses for animals. It's a little different from people. Um, Adult humans, we all, we come in different sizes, but largely we're pretty close in size. And at least our internal organs, our liver and our intestines are about the same size. Not true in dogs, though. Dogs are, you could have a 7-pound dog, you can have a 200-pound Great Dane. And so they're ways too different to dose in this, just all the same. So, yeah,
It's my go-to with people when all else fails. Like, have you tried this? Animals can't speak. Have we tried this? It can't hurt.
no, it wouldn't hurt them at all. And it certainly doesn't hurt to try. Um, Great for, yeah, for the younger dogs with the hyperactivity, and especially if you're trying to run them through training. CBD, it helps people with ADD for their focus issues. Same thing with dogs when they're in training. It helps them to focus, removes a lot of distraction, and yeah, so it's great in that way for the younger dogs. It helps them keep out of trouble. A lot of misbehaviors in animals, especially dogs, is really due to their anxiety. So it helps them out a lot in that way. And then, for the older dogs, it's, really helpful for pain relief and, well, and also the anxiety that if they're kind of losing their mind in their old age, that also brings a lot of anxiety with it. So dementia is, pretty common as the dogs get in the old dogs. So
Right. And so I care more about what I give my pets than I give myself. So I certainly don't want any ingredients or things in it that they don't need. So that's another reason come to you to make sure we're having the testing, having pure quality. So is it leafbloomorganics.com?
yes, yeah, and the products, I mean, I use them all. I test everything on myself, but I also use them regularly on myself just for the same benefit that anyone else would. So I'm not going to put an ingredient in a product that I wouldn't want to be taking myself. Gummies, natural colors, not artificial colors. It's not all about the CBD, and we do use the high quality CBD. They do come from small organic farms, and the processor is USDA organic certified. So we do want the highest quality CBD, and we want our lab tests to show that, which it does. But also, you want to look at other ingredients. It doesn't do any good to put a skin lotion on, or a face serum, something you're trying to get healthier skin, and it's got CBD in it, and that's great. But does it also have parabens in it? You've got to look at, the care that went into formulation on it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I didn't even realize all the products again, shampoo, skincare, things that makes sense now that we're talking about it, but I wouldn't have, my brain logically wouldn't have gone there because I think the healthcare angle. So, can you take too much? You just said you take all the
Yes.
products.
Yes, you can. And I've actually, well, I mean, I've deliberately taken too much to kind of test out because there's so much misinformation out there about CBD in particular, but all these cannabinoids. There's something like 90 different cannabinoids in hemp. But there's so much misinformation. So I've tested a lot of that myself. If you take too much, you can have loss of appetite, diarrhea, a little bit of a brain fog, not like being high, but yeah, it's temporary though, and then you just stop taking it. The FDA is silent on the issue, unfortunately, but the British counterpart of our FDA recommends no more than 100 milligrams a day. And that is the exact number that I came up with in testing of my own, is that you don't want to take more than 90 or 100 milligrams a day. That's through ingestion. Now, as far as like skin topicals, there's not really too much.
Now I'm 5'1". Would that be the same amount for our, I'm assuming you're probably taller than that.
Generally, yeah. So generally, we don't worry about size in humans quite as much. So what you're gonna now, with exception,
Everybody's laughing at me, by the way. They're like, you are not 5'1", Sam. You're 5 feet.
if you are, say, 3.5 feet tall with ADHD, and maybe your parents are helping you out with dosing, then I do talk to clients about that because I don't want them out there just kind of making up their own thing. The doctors aren't going to talk to them about it. So I do help them out with that, and you definitely want to start with them. That one is a much smaller dose, but for adults in general, as I said before, our internal organs are about the same size. So generally, you're going to start out with a lower dose, and then you give it a few days, and then if it's not giving you the results you want, you ramp up a little bit and give it a few more days and ramp up a little bit. And you can sure jump right in and say, well, he said we can take 90 milligrams a day, so I'm just going to take 90 milligrams a day. Sure, you can do that, but it's wasteful. And CBD, again, is not cheap, so you don't want to be just taking more than what you need. It's always better to have the correct amount, if for no other reason than just to save money. And so your starting dose would be, it's lower when it's when you're using it as a daily supplement for issues like quality of sleep or being able to fall asleep or focus issues, anxiety, stress. These things, you're going to start out with gummies. You'd probably start out around 25 milligrams a day. If you're using a tincture, it's a little bit less than that. You're more around like 20 milligrams a day, and that has to do with how well it absorbs in the body. Now, if you came in and wanted to take CBD for pain relief, you'd be starting out, 35 to 50 milligrams a day, and then ramping up from there.
I've never been given this much information. This is why do I work with who I work with, and why do I refer to who I refer to, so that you can get all of this information and get the healthiest, most pure product and use it effectively. So Leafbloom Organics in Washington, if you're out there, go in. You can go to the website. Leaf and Grief or Grief and Leaf? I have to look at what we decided. For 20% off anything.
Yes.
We will have I will have your products here. You will have Faces of Grief there. Finding other people who believe in similar things and are out there, supporting and promoting each other and the same work matters in this world. So thank you for everything you're doing. Is there anything else you want to add that I am forgetting?
I will just say, CBD is not a miracle drug. It's not magical. You still need to take care of yourself in all the other ways, meaning, you still need to be talking to your physician. You still need to, especially, relevant to your uh, podcast and your upcoming book, relevant to grief and all of the extra problems that will bring to mind and body. You still have to treat CBD as just part of that treatment, and do discuss with your doctor. Ask your doctor, hey, is there any reason why I should not be taking CBD? I always tell people to ask it in that way rather than should I take CBD. The MDs in particular will tell you, often will tell you, I don't take that stuff. But, still got to talk to your mental health therapist. You still got to hang in there with all that other stuff and not just think that CBD is magic. We'll help you out. Get the right product, get the right advice on how to use it. And,
Yeah, it's a team. I feel like everybody on the team needs to work together. If we leave somebody out and we forget to include one doctor, they could be encouraging or promoting something unknowingly that everybody else is working in a different way towards. So, running it by everybody you're working with is important so that everybody is working towards the same goals and making sure that it works together. So they don't all have to talk to each other all the time, but, can this work together makes everybody effective and on the same page. So thank you for pointing that out. It's not a magic pill. You might take it for one thing and recognize that it helps with something else that you had no idea, allergies or something that you weren't looking for. It does help with so many things that we just are still learning about, I think, every day. So again, thank you for everything you're doing. And until next time, everyone, Leafbloom Organics, and always be ruthless.